So today we're going to take a trip to one of the parts of Montana that I've never been through. It's a short little detour off of Interstate 90, and it's filled with historical mining towns. Kind of a cool part of Montana. Let's go check it out. So if we take a look at the map here, you'll see the little detour I was talking about. You just get off Interstate 90 at Drummond and head down Montana Highway 1 to Phillipsburg, and then it goes past Georgetown Lake and then over to Anaconda. And you'll see that that's only 63 miles, and if you stay on the interstate, and you'll end up in the same spot, you'll see that that's only 57 miles, so it's only a 6-mile difference between the two routes. Obviously, you can go a little faster on the interstate, but I would highly suggest taking this detour. As you will see, it's a pretty cool part of Montana. So once you get off the interstate in Drummond, you start heading south, and you just have beautiful views of the Pintler Mountains out there, and it's just farmland. There's a couple really small towns that you go through on the way as well. I mean, probably less than 100 people, but just a nice, open, pretty area of Montana right here until you get to Phillipsburg. So it's about 27 miles from Drummond down to Phillipsburg, and Phillipsburg is just a very historical town. Right now it says the population is 863 people, but you can just kind of feel the history as you come into town here. It was founded in the 1890s, and they've mined silver, manganese, sapphires, and some gold in this area, but all of the downtown you'll see here in a minute, and all the homes just are very historical, a lot of very old homes. As far as real estate goes in Phillipsburg, right now there's 13 homes for sale, and they range in price from a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot home on a small city lot for $189,900 up to $995,000 for an old historic, very historic home. It's on the historic registry, and it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,900 square foot house on just over a quarter acre here in Phillipsburg. So once you get into the downtown area, you'll see it's very small, very walkable if you want to check out the whole thing. There's a lot of old historic buildings. One of the buildings was an old bank, and they've turned that into a brewery. There's a bunch of gift shops, as you can imagine, and other restaurants and bars and all kinds of things to check out while you're here. And my wife got sucked into this candy store that we found here that's right downtown, and we had to go in there, and she would have spent 2 hours in there if she could have, but it was kind of a cool little spot. As you can see, they have more candy than you'd ever know what to do with. I'm not sure how long this stuff lasts or what they do with it all winter when there's not a lot of people here, but I was amazed at the amount of candy they have in this little store. And we did buy some, and it was very good, so if you're here, you definitely need to check it out. So once you leave Phillipsburg, you head up over this little pass, which was kind of cool. There's a ski resort over there called Discovery Ski Area, and then you end up here at Georgetown Lake, which is a 2,800-acre reservoir that is a big fishing lake here in Montana. The average depth is 16 feet, and it's full of rainbow trout, brook trout, and kokanee salmon. And I guess it's one of the biggest ice fishing or most popular ice fishing lakes here in Montana. And there's a lot of homes around here, a lot of real estate, and it's kind of expensive. It's kind of a place everybody wants to be. So right now there were 7 homes for sale in this area, and they ranged in price from a small cabin, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,344 square foot cabin on 0.17 acres for $530,000, and it goes all the way up to a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom house that's 5,400 square feet, and that's on 5 acres, and it overlooks Georgetown Lake, and that one is currently listed at $2.2 million. So once you come down the hill and around the corner from Georgetown Lake, you'll come into the last town on this little detour called Anaconda, and this is a very historical town. It was founded in the 1880s, and they built a huge smelter there that processed the copper ore that was being mined in Butte, which is 25 miles away. And there's a still standing to this day a 585-foot smokestack that was from the old smelter. And that was, when it was built back in the early 1900s, that was the largest man-made or the tallest man-made structure in the world at that time. But you can also see all around town there's the giant pile of the black slag that was the byproduct of this smelter. And this slag consists of iron and silica, but there are trace amounts of arsenic and lead in it as well. So when they shut down the smelter for good, it was in 1980, and they turned it into a Superfund site. But one of the cool things they did is on the site of the original smelter and all of the buildings there, they built a golf course, and it was designed by Jack Nicklaus. It's called Old Works. And when they built it, they kept some of the old equipment and left it out there on the course as decorative things, and it just to show the history of the area. They had to cap the entire acreage where the golf course is with clay and limestone, and then they put topsoil over that. And the other unique thing they did is they used some of that black slag for the sand trap material. That's what the sand is in the bunkers there, is that black slag from the old smelter. So it's kind of a cool course. It became famous because of it, because this is one of the only places in the country that they took a Superfund site and actually turned it into something productive and something good for the community. But driving around town, you can see some really cool historical buildings. Like this one right here was built in 1888. And then the Deer Lodge County Courthouse, I've seen pictures of this place in different areas. I never knew where it was, and as we were driving around, we kind of stumbled upon it. It's one of the coolest looking buildings in Montana with the backdrop. But this is the county courthouse for Deer Lodge County, and it was kind of fun to kind of stumble upon it. But as far as real estate goes in Anaconda, there were 45 places for sale right now, and they ranged in price from $89,900 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 768 square foot house that was on a tiny little city lot, all the way up to $700,000 for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,400 square foot house that was on just about a quarter of an acre. And the prices in Anaconda have always been a lot cheaper than other parts of the state, but it's a very pretty area, and it was kind of fun to check this little detour out.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information, and don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.